Wow. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Halloween 2022 Bash. Here live on my YouTube channel, the Legendary Alex Cardinale. I'm your host, Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale. That's right, I'm no ordinary tiger. I am a crazy tiger. Happy Halloween, everyone. It's the one night of the year where I get to paint my face and have a lot of fun on a Halloween spooky live stream here on my YouTube channel. I hope you guys had an amazing Halloween and are ready for a fun live stream. Welcome to the second annual Halloween Bash, and this one is going to be much better than last year's Halloween Bash for sure. So today I'm going to talk about the history of Halloween and how it came to America. I'm going to talk about the most popular Halloween candy. There will be appearances by Chef Alex Cardinale and Aqua Alex Cardinale. Chef Alex is going to tell you ways to use up all that leftover candy. And Aqua Alex is going to talk about tropical fish that represent and resemble tigers, since the theme of this year's Halloween Bash is tiger, and I'm portraying my favorite cat and my favorite animal besides fish, tigers. And the main topic for this year's show is all about tigers. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about tigers. And our main event topic, I'm going to talk about tiger attacks on humans. There have been plenty of tiger attacks on humans. Some have been fatal. And we're going to talk about that on Halloween 2022 Bash tonight, since Halloween is all about spookiness. So, happy Halloween, everyone. Do you have questions you want me to answer? Post them in the comments below. What do you like about tigers? Post what you liked about tigers in the comments. What's your favorite candy? Let me know your favorite Halloween candy in the comments. And what did you do for Halloween? Let me know what you did for Halloween in the comments below. So in other words, if you're watching live, feel free to interact and post in the comments, and I will interact with all of you. So let's get this year's Halloween bash started. What did Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale do today besides kill people, kill innocent people? Just kidding. So what I did for Halloween, like I do every day of the year, is I went to work. I went to work from 11 to 8:30 p.m. and then I came home, had dinner, and painted my face as a tiger. And now I'm hosting the Halloween 2022 bash as Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale. Halloween is one of my favorite holidays out of the year. Even though I am 29 years old and I no longer can trick or treat, I could still dress up and host Halloween bashes and have a lot of fun with all of you. And that's what I'm going to do each and every year. So today was just an ordinary day. I went to work from 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. And then during my 15-minute break, my first 15-minute break, I went to Walgreens and I picked up a bunch of candy. So obviously I got a bag of uh, Reese's, I got a bag of Kit Kat, and plenty of other candy. And I shared some candy with my coworkers, and then I brought some candy home for the trick-or-treaters. Now, I live in a gated community, which means that trick-or-treating is over by 9. So I have plenty of Halloween candy left. And I'm going to tell you what you can do with extra Halloween candy should you have any yourself. Shout out to my friend Jeff, who is in the house. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Happy Halloween, Jeff. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're having a spooktacular, fantastic Halloween. I'm having a great Halloween, and I'm happy to be able to host a Halloween celebration. Now, don't mind my face paint. Like I said, I'm no ordinary tiger. I'm an extraordinary tiger. I'm a crazy tiger, and I stand out above the rest. In life, you want to stand out above the rest. Why be ordinary when you can be extraordinary? Why be special when you can be crazy? That's my life motto, and that's why I chose this face paint. I think it looks pretty cool as well, but it does look like a drunk person did it or like a child did it, but hey, that's fine. After all, I am a crazy tiger. So let me know what you did for Halloween in the comments. So, what are your favorite Halloween candy? Well, my favorite Halloween candy is simple. I like Kit Kats, I like Reese's peanut butter cups, Snickers, Butterfinger, and Twix. Pretty much anything chocolate I will eat. I love chocolate. Even though cats can't have chocolate, I, Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale, can. I hate candy corn. That is the only Halloween candy that you'll never see me eat. I don't like candy corn. Skittles are great. Skittles is actually a very popular candy for Halloween. And we're going to talk about popular Halloween candies a little bit later on in the show. So Jeff says, all my candy is gone. Sorry about that. You must have had a lot of trick-or-treaters. Fortunately for me, I think it's a great thing that I work today because I have a lot of candy left over, and that means I can munch on it, snack on it, and even bake with it. So that's awesome. And Jeff says, my face paint looks awesome. Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate that. And Kit Kat, 100% best ever, buddy. That is true. Recently, I have really taken a liking to Kit Kat. I've always liked it, but it's becoming a favorite of mine. And in the white chocolate Kit Kat is even awesome. I'm a big fan of white chocolate, and white chocolate Kit Kat is really good. Now, a couple years ago, Twix did white chocolate, and it wasn't really that good. So hopefully Twix will redo their white chocolate Twix, and it will be much, much better than it was in previous years. All right, so let's learn about the history of Halloween. I love learning about the history of important holidays and holidays that is celebrated throughout the world. Obviously, Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on the last day of October, October 31st. The tradition originated with the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. In the 18th century, Pope Gregory III designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints. Soon, All Saints' Day incorporated some of the traditions of Samhain. The evening before Saints' Day was known as All Hallows' Eve and later Halloween. Over time, Halloween evolved into a day of activities like trick or treating, carving jack o' lanterns, festive gatherings, donning costumes, and eating treats. Halloween's origins date back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. The Celts, who lived 200,000 years ago, mostly in the area that is now Ireland, the United Kingdom, and northern France, celebrated their new year on November 1st. This day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of year that was often associated with human death. Celts believed that on the night before the new year, the boundary between the worlds of the living and the dead became blurred. And boy, do I know the world of living and dead. Some people I know think like zombies. They act like zombies. They move like zombies. So every day for them, it's Halloween, for those people that think like they're dead. On the night of October 31st, they celebrated Samhain, when it was believed that the ghost of the dead returned to the earth. In addition to causing trouble and damaging crops, Celts thought the presence of the otherworldly spirits made it easier for the Druids, or Celtic priests, to make predictions about the future. For people entirely dependent on the volatile natural world, these prophecies were an important source of comfort during the long, dark winter. To commemorate the event, Druids built huge sacred bonfires where the people gathered to burn crops and animals as sacrifices to the Celtic deities. During the celebration, the Celts wore costumes typically consisting of animal heads and skins, and attempted to tell each other's fortunes. Now let's talk about the history of Halloween in our great country, America. The celebration of Halloween was extremely limited in colonial New England because of the right Protestant belief systems there. Halloween was much more common in Maryland and the southern colonies. As the beliefs and customs of different European ethnic groups and American Indians meshed, a distinctly Americanized version of Halloween began to emerge. The first celebrations included play parties, which were public events held to celebrate the harvest. Neighbors would share stories of the dead, tell each other's fortunes, dance, and sing. Colonial Halloween festivals also featured the telling of ghost stories and mischief making of all kinds. By the middle of the 19th century, annual autumn festivals were common, but Halloween was not yet celebrated everywhere in the country. In the second half of the 19th century, America was flooded with new immigrants. These new immigrants, especially the millions of Irish fleeing the Irish potato famine, helped to popularize the celebration of Halloween nationally. Borrowing from European traditions, Americans began to dress up in costumes and go house to house asking for money or food, a practice that eventually became today's trick or treat tradition. Young women believe that on Halloween they can divine the name or appearance of their future husband by doing tricks with yarn, apple parings, or mirrors. In the late 1800s, there was a move in America to mold Halloween into a holiday more about community and neighborly get togethers than about ghost pranks and witchcraft. At the turn of the century, Halloween parties for both children and adults became the most common way to celebrate the day. Parties focused on games, foods of the season, and festive costumes. Parents were encouraged by newspapers and community leaders to take anything frightening or grotesque out of Halloween celebrations. Because of these efforts, Halloween lost most of its superstitious and religious overtones by the beginning of the 20th century. Between 1920 and 1950, the centuries old practice of trick or treating was also revived. Trick or treating was a relatively inexpensive way for an entire community to share the Halloween celebration. In theory, families could also prevent tricks being played on them by providing the neighborhood children with small treats. Thus, a new Halloween tradition was born, and it has continued to grow, and it is still very popular. Heck, today I'm sure your kids went trick or treating, or you had kids come to your house for candy. Today, Americans spend an estimated $6 billion annually on Halloween, making it the country's second largest commercial holiday after Christmas. And that is the true history of Halloween. So let's see, we have a comment from our good friend Jeff. And Jeff says, I wish a 30-year-old stripper ghost nurse would ring my doorbell. That's funny. I'm sure there's a lot of old pedophiles that are happy about Halloween because they got young kids coming to their door begging for kids. Just kidding. That was a good one there, Jeff. I have to give you credit for that. That was pretty funny. All right, so now that we've learned about the history of Halloween, let's talk about some of the most popular Halloween candy out there. And this is according to a study that I found from last year. So I'm sure next year's numbers are going to be a lot different. But according to my study, the most popular Halloween candy, number one, is Skittles. Surprisingly, chocolate is not the first favorite Halloween candy. Number two is candy corn, which is absolutely gross. I'm not a fan of candy corn. Then comes chocolate. At number third is the classic Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, which is a combination of chocolate and peanut butter. Then it's Snickers. So for all the guys out there that like nuts, you can get your chocolate fix of nuts with chocolate, nougat, caramel, and nuts. And then it's Twix, Kit Kat, Butterfinger, and other candy. So that's the most popular Halloween candy. But my favorite Halloween candy, as I stated earlier, Twix, Reese's, Kit Kat, Snickers, and Butterfinger. So that is the most popular Halloween candy. William T. Yes, that's right. The old pervert excited to see the kids on Halloween. That's funny. All right. So now it's time to welcome in Chef Alex to the show. And Chef Alex is going to talk to us about ways to use leftover candy. So I'm going to pretend that I'm Chef Alex. So it's going to be Crazy Tiger Chef Alex Cardinale. And now I'm going to talk to you about ways that you could use leftover Halloween candy. So, for example, myself personally, I went to Walgreens during my break and I ended up buying like 12 bags of candy. These are just 3 bags that I have here. I have a plethora more of Halloween candy. So one way you could use leftover candy is snacking on it, but if you have a lot of bags, that's a lot of calories. So you can actually make some desserts using leftover candy. Some dessert ideas include cheesecakes. Simply make your favorite cheesecake batter, chop up whatever chocolate you have, whether it's a Butterfinger or a Twix or a Reese's or a Snicker, whatever the chocolate bar is, you can add that to the cheesecake batter. And then, for example, let's say you're making Twix, you can add some caramel to the cheesecake batter to make a nice Twix themed cheesecake. Now, Crumble Cookies has some really good cookies, but they have a Twix cookie which is really good, and I have yet to try that, and I really want to. But you can make it at home yourself. Just basically make a sugar cookie base, then you're going to top that cooked or baked sugar cookie base with some caramel and milk chocolate and put a Twix bar on top of it. And you've basically made yourself the crumble version of a Twix cookie. You can also make chocolate chip cookies using leftover Halloween candy. Instead of using chocolate chip, put your leftover Halloween candy to use, and you'll be able to have a great chocolate chip cookie. And you can also fold in your chopped up chocolate bars into ice cream, yogurt. You can fold it into cake batter. You can fold it into pretty much anything. You can use leftover candy the same way you'll use Oreos in desserts. Candy can be used for baking as well. So do not throw away any leftover candy. Try not to eat it all as well, but you can if you want to. But one good way to use leftover candy from Halloween is to make some delicious baked goods with it, and you'll love the results of a delicious baked good with Halloween candy. I think that's the greatest way to use leftover Halloween candy. Chef Alex, Halloween whoopie pie with any leftovers. Yes, that's actually a great idea. You can crush up some of the candy bars into fine pieces, and then when you take the or when you fill the whoopie pie and you sandwich it together, you can roll the icing into the crushed up candy bar pieces. That's a great idea, and that is what I should have done this past Saturday on Spooky Saturday Live with Legendary Alex Cardinale. I should have done that. That is a really brilliant idea. And if you guys haven't seen Spooky Saturday Live with Legendary Alex Cardinale, I definitely recommend checking it out because there's some spooky Halloween stories there and plenty of Halloween chat. So go check out that episode of Saturday Live with Legendary Alex Cardinale on my playlist, Saturday Live with Legendary Alex Cardinale. So now we're going to turn the show over to Tropical Fish and Aqua Alex, and we're going to get to our main topic for the evening, and that is, of course, tigers. I love tigers. They are my favorite animal of all time. And before we talk about them, Jeff says Twix, Snickers, Reese's, Skittles, Starburst, cheesecake. Those are all great cheesecake ideas. They sound really, really good. All right. So now let's talk about some tropical fish species that resemble tigers. And there are so many fish species that resemble tigers that in the future I may end up doing an episode of Aquatic Wetline talking about fish that resemble my favorite animal, tigers, and I may end up painting my face again as a tiger. So the first fish that I'm going to talk about that resembles a tiger is the classic tiger Oscar cichlid. Now, the Oscar cichlid is a large growing cichlid. It can reach up to 12 inches in length and sometimes even larger. It does require a large aquarium, 75 gallons and above, and it will eat pretty much anything. You will not have a hard time keeping Oscars. Oscars are one of the easiest fish to keep in the aquarium hobby. And pretty much every Oscar in the aquarium hobby is based off of a tiger Oscar. It's called the tiger Oscar because it has a black body and orange stripes. So it's the complete opposite of a tiger, but still a unique fish. Up next is the tiger shovelnose catfish. Technically, not really a tiger because it doesn't have orange, but it's got a brown body and the black stripes, which is close enough to a tiger to be featured on our show today. Tiger shovelnose, my all-time favorite South American monster catfish. Tiger shovelnose cat can reach about 2.5 feet, sometimes even 3 feet with the proper care. Tiger shovelnose are a really unique catfish. They can eat anything that fits in its mouth. Tiger barbs, the community fish that look just like a tiger. They have a ferocious appetite like a tiger and a ferocious attitude like a tiger. They can be a bit thin nippy, so be careful mixing them with other fish. But overall, they are a pretty cool fish. Datnoids, they're called the tiger fish. Pictured here is a large wide bar datnoid, but my all-time favorite datnoid would be the North Thailand tiger North of the North Thailand tiger datnoid. That is a favorite of mine. Also, the Indonesian datnoid. Datnoids are a cool monster fish that grow large, over 2 feet, or over a foot rather. They can reach up to 2 feet, but that is rare. And they're a predatory fish that will eat anything that fits in their mouth. This fish is referred to as a tiger fish simply because of its teeth and its ferocious behavior. It's a fierce predator like a tiger, so it will take out any small fish that gets in its way. I have never kept this fish, so I can't speak much on them. And finally, the clown loach. This fish resembles a tiger in coloration. It has orange coloration with black stripes, and it's a very cool fish. I love the clown loach. So you can catch Chef Alex and Aqua Alex on my YouTube channel year round on the YouTube channel Legendary Alex Cardinale. Hopefully you learned a lot about fish that resemble tigers and how to use leftover candy. Jeff says, how I met you was through Oscars. Yes, that's right. I was very big into Oscars back then when we met, and I still am today because I have a large tiger Oscar in my 125-gallon aquarium. Tiger shovelnose, very, very cool. And tiger Barbies. Yes, that's what they're called. Tiger Barbies. All right, so let's get to our main event topic for this year's Halloween Bash. And now it's time to talk about tigers. My favorite cat and my favorite animal at the Palm Beach Zoo when I was working at the Palm Beach Zoo. Before I got fucked over and screwed over by someone that I thought was a friend, a fellow coworker who I thought was a friend, but obviously she wasn't. She was just trying to advance her career and throw me to the wolves and push me aside. But you know, that's life, and I've got a better job now, a much higher paying job now, and now hopefully a real tiger will attack and kill that person and have a feast on him. Just kidding. Anyway, here is what to know about tigers. Tigers are a really cool, ferocious animal. Tigers are the largest member of the cat family. They're the largest feline. They're rivaled only by the lion in strength and ferocity. The tiger is endangered throughout its range, which strengthens from or which stretches from the Russian Far East through parts of North Korea, China, India, and Southeast Asia to the Indonesian island of Sumatra. So you'll find tigers in Russia, North Korea, China, India, Southeast Asia, and Indonesia island of Sumatra. The Indian, or my favorite tiger, Bengal tiger, is the most numerous and accounts for about half of the total tiger population. Tigers haunt the ruins of buildings such as courts and temples and are at home in habitats ranging from dry grassland to rainforest. Having evolved in the temperature and subtropic forest of Eastern Asia, the tiger is less tolerant of heat than other large cats, which may explain why it's an adept swimmer that appears to enjoy bathing. Under stress, it may climb trees. So when I, Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale, have a stressful day, you may see me climbing up your tree. But don't fret, I'm just having a stressful day. The tiger usually hunts by night and preys on a variety of animals, but it prefers fairly large prey such as deer and wild pigs. So if you see me eating a big fat person, that's my natural diet because I'm eating a wild pig. Just kidding. A special liking for porcupines, despite the danger of injury from their quills, is an exception. Healthy large mammals are generally avoided, although there have been recorded instances of the tigers having attacked elephants and adult water buffalo. Hey, I know a couple of water buffalo. Maybe they're on the menu tomorrow. Cattle are occasionally taken from human habitations, and some tigers can thrive on domestic livestock. After making a kill and consuming what it can, it makes a deliberate attempt to hide the carcass from vultures and other scavengers so that another meal can be attained. Tigers are not adverse to commandeering a kill from other tigers or leopards, and they sometimes eat carrion. Carrion is dead animals. So basically, roadkill. That's what a carrion is. So Jeff says, Carol Baskin. No, I'm a lot more legendary than Carol Baskin. Just kidding. All right, so what's next to know about tigers? Let's see here. Tigers are solitary animals, much like me. They establish and maintain their own territories, much like me. The size and nature of which vary with the number and distribution of prey, the presence of other tigers in the area, the nature of the terrain, the availability of water, and individual characteristics. The solitary nature of the species also helps minimize territorial conflict. Nonetheless, confrontations do occur, sometimes resulting in injury and even death. So, if you try to fight me, I may seriously injure you or fatally injure you or even kill you. So in other words, don't pick a fight with me, Crazy Tiger Alex Cardinale, unless you have a death wish. Just kidding. And speaking of tigers and death wishes, let's talk about the known tiger attacks on humans. Because tigers are a very ferocious, very dangerous animal, and they can kill you within seconds. Their claws are very sharp, and their teeth are razor sharp. All it would take is their razor sharp teeth to hit your jugular vein in your neck, and you'll bleed out in instants. You'll bleed out in a moment's notice, and you'll die. So stay away from tigers if you're ever in their wild habitats. Stay out of the tiger areas in zoos. Don't go behind the barriers because then you're asking for a tiger to attack and kill you. So be very smart when you're around tigers. Respect tigers. Give them their space, and they will not attack you. However, tigers are wild animals, and much like me, they are very unpredictable. You can never think what a tiger is going to do. And the following people that I'm going to talk about found that out the very, very hard way. So here are the known tiger attacks on humans. In 1985, a pair of Siberian tigers at the Bronx Zoo attacked and killed one of their keepers in an enclosure that was part of the Wild Asia exhibit. In 2007, a 32-year-old Canadian woman was killed when she was outside the cage petting a tiger. It apparently grabbed her leg and mauled her, causing her to bleed to death. In 2005, a 17-year-old girl was killed by a captive Siberian tiger at the Lost Creek Animal Sanctuary in Kansas while taking her high school graduation photo with the animal. That is very sad. My heart goes out to that little girl. In 2009, at the Calgary Zoo in Canada, Vitali, a male Siberian tiger, injured a man trespassing in his enclosure. A handler was also killed by a white tiger in Zion Lion Park in 2009. In 2015, a handler was killed at Hamilton Zoo in Hamilton, New Zealand. And in my neck of the woods, what I know too well, in 2016, a 38-year-old woman was killed by Haiti, a 13-year-old male tiger in an enclosure at the Palm Beach Zoo. That woman's name was Stacy Conweiser. And there's actually a Stacy Conweiser memorial statue somewhere inside Palm Beach Zoo. I don't remember where it's located, but I know it's there because I've seen it. And I paid respect to Stacy Conweiser. Stacy Conweiser, much like myself, painted her face like a tiger on numerous instances when she gave her tiger talks at the Palm Beach Zoo. So she had a deep love of tigers, and she got to handle them every day. Unfortunately, the wild instincts of a tiger made it so the tiger is unpredictable, and it probably had a bad day and it attacked its keeper, which happens with animals. Zookeepers face these dangers every single day. They know going into being a zookeeper that they can be attacked by these wild animals, but they still do it anyway. It's not because they have to do it, it's because they love to do it. And that's the case with Stacy Kindweiser. She loved tigers and she loved being an animal keeper. And she had a great time at the Palm Beach Zoo giving speeches about tigers. Unfortunately, I never got to witness one of her tiger talks or even see her in person because at the time I was living in Massachusetts. But I learned a whole lot about tigers watching some of her speeches on YouTube, and that inspired me to be a tiger this Halloween. All right, see, I told you this year's Halloween bash would be a lot better than last year's debacle. I had a great time hosting the 2022 Halloween bash. I'd like to say thank you to my friend Jeff and everybody that tuned in live on Halloween Day, Halloween night, to watch the show. I sincerely hope you enjoyed the Halloween bash. It's been an honor and a pleasure. We've got two more major holidays coming up. In 3 weeks, yes, that's right, folks, 3 short weeks, we're going to celebrate Thanksgiving. It's going to be Turkey Day in 3 weeks. And I'll be hosting the second annual Thanksgiving Bash on Thanksgiving morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, which I believe would be 8 a.m. Pacific. Live on Thanksgiving morning, I'm going to give you some Thanksgiving turkey cooking tips. I'll talk about NFL football games on Thanksgiving Day and more. So get ready for the Thanksgiving Day bash and also all the Christmas episodes and New Year episodes I have coming your way. My friend Jeff has an awesome comment for me. And Jeff says, this has been a legendary epic show, bro. Thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate that. It's been a Crazy Tiger legendary epic show. I had a great time. I hope you guys had a great Halloween. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I can't wait to see what next year's Halloween show has in store. Maybe I'll be another tiger or another type of wild animal. We shall see. Have a great rest of your Halloween and enjoy the rest of October. Get ready for Thanksgiving. And thank you all for tuning in. Happy Halloween. Thank you guys for watching. Happy Halloween and have a great night. Enjoy your Halloween candy. And don't forget, you're not you without Snickers. Happy Halloween, everybody.